This is your homework helper, Mrs. Anderson. Today we'll help you with Lesson 3, Divide by a 2-digit divisor. Let's look at this homework helper section to help us remember what to do. If I have the number 204 and I divide by 10, I write the dividend 204 in a division box and write the divisor outside of the division box. Now I'm going to ask myself, how many times will 12 go into 2? 12 won't go into 2, so I put a 0 or a placeholder. Now I ask myself, how many times will 12 go into 20? 12 will go into 20 one time. 1 times 12 is 12. Now I'll subtract. When I subtract, I get 84. So I'm going to ask myself, how many times does 12 go into 84? Well, I can do it, I can kind of estimate and say how many times will 1 go into 8. So it's going to be around 8 times. I'm going to try 12 times 8. 2 times 6, 16. Oh, that's 96. That 96 is more than 84. So rather than doing 8 here, I'm going to go down one number and do 12 times 7. 2 times 7 is 4. And 1 times 7 is 1 plus 8, so that is 84. So I'll write 84 and subtract, and I use the number 7, so it'll go there. So the answer is 17. Okay, so here to review, we divided the tens. Okay, and then we multiplied, subtracted, okay, and moved on. We brought down the 4 ones, and we divided the ones. All right. Let's look here at number 1 down here. Okay, we're going to write 874 in the division box, okay, the dividend, and divide by 23. I'm going to ask myself, how many times will 23 go into 8? It won't, so I'll put a placeholder. How many times will 28 go into 87? I'm betting, I'm going to look at this, how many times will 2 go into 8? 2 will go into 8 4 times, but I have a number here, so rather than trying 4, I think I'm going to try 3. 23 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, so I got 69. So this is what I'm trying, 69. I'll subtract. I can't do 7 minus 9, so I'm going to borrow. 17 minus 9 is 8, and 7 minus 6 is 1. I need to make sure that 18 right here is less than my dividend, 23. It is. So I'll move to the next number. How many times will 23 go into 184? I'm going to try and do a basic fact here. How many times will 2 go into 18? 2 will go into 18 about 9 times. But I am worried because I'm going to have to use this number also. So I'm going to try 23. Rather than doing times 9, I'm going to do 8. 3 times 8 is 24. 8 times 2 is 16, 17, 18. Oh, perfect, 184. And I multiplied by 8, so I'll write 8 here and 184 down here. When I subtract, I get 0. So there's the answer, 38. All right, let's look at this one. 988 divided by 96. How many times will 96 go into 9? It won't, so I'll put a placeholder. How many times will 96 go into 98? Oh, that doesn't look too bad. Though 96 and 98 are close to each other, so I can tell it's going to be just 1 time. Then I'll multiply 1 times 96 and write it here. When I subtract, I get 2. I'll bring down my 8. Oh, 96 won't go into 28. 28's smaller, so that'll be 0 up here. 0 times 96 is 0, with 28 as a remainder. All right, you're going to go ahead and do this one. Remember the steps. You're going to divide these. We've got tens. You're going to divide into 94 and then continue on like this. You can always rewind, go back a little bit and look at this part. before you go on. Okay, number 4 says, algebra. Find the variable in the equation. So we need to find out what m will be. So I'm going to write 803 divided by 73. Oh, I can already see I'm going to run out of room, so I'm going to move it over here instead. 803 divided by 73 equals m. M is basically goes on the top, but we need to find the answer first. So I'm going to ask myself, how many times will 73 go into 8? It won't. How many times will 73 go into 80? Only one time. 1 times 73 is 73. When I subtract, I'm going to need to borrow. 10 minus 3 is 7, and bring down the 3. Oh, kind of easy. 73 goes into 73 one time. All right, you'll do the same thing with this one. Here we have members of the Blade Runner Skating Club collected $950 from fundraising activities. They want to buy Ultra Blade skates, which are $48 a pair. How many pairs of skates can they buy? What does the remainder represent? Okay, so I'll need to write 950 divide by $48 and do the very same thing. Ask myself, how many times will 48 go into 95? Okay, if I think it's 2 and I work it out, oh, look at this. 48 times 2 is 96, and this is 95, so that would be too much. So I can't do 2. I'm going to have to go less than 2. So I'll need to do 1. Okay, sometimes that happens. Okay, go ahead and finish that problem. Number 7, a theater has 990 total seats. There are a total of 22 rows in the theater. If each row has an equal amount of seats, how many seats are in each row? Find the unknown number in the equation. 990 divided by 22 equals S. You'll need to write this in a division box and then figure out the quotient or the answer by doing the same steps we've done on these other problems. A group of friends equally split the dinner bill shown. If each person paid $16, how many friends paid? Okay, we'll have to look over here to see how much the dinner bill was and then divide by 16, and that'll help us to know how many friends there were that went to dinner together. Emily loves to read. She read 527 hours in 31 weeks. Wow, a lot of reading. If she read an equal number of hours each week, how many hours did she read each week? We'll write 527 in a division box. I can see that I didn't give myself enough room again, so I'm going to write it over here where I have more room. And then I'll ask myself, how many times does 31 go into 5? It doesn't. How many times does 31 go into 52? It's like 1. 1 times 31 is 31. So I'll subtract. 2 minus 1 is 1. Bring down the 7. 31 goes into 17. Oh, I messed up. I got to go back. 2 minus 1 is 1, but 5 minus 3 is 2. All right, now bring down the 7. How many times will 31 go into 217? I love this kind. I can look at the first digit here and work on doing a basic fact, meaning how many times will 3 go into 21? Well, 3 times 7 equals 21. So what I'll do is take that 31 and I'll multiply by 7 to make sure it'll work. 1 times 7 is 7, and 3 times 7 is 21. Oh, it worked out perfectly. I multiplied by 7, so I'll put the 7 up here in the ones column and then write 217. Okay, wow, I gave you the answers on some of those. Thanks for watching this homework helper video. If you have questions, feel free to ask me at school tomorrow.